What's up, losers? Today I'm back with some more r/fatlogic shenanigans. Checking out a couple of posts that I found interesting or amusing. Sharing my opinions on them. And having a few chuckles. This is episode 160 in the fatlogic series. And I'm ready for a jumbo serve of fat acceptance wackiness. So without further dilly-dallying, let's get into it.
Anonymous asked, does the healthy at every size movement extend to death fat people, i.e. people weighing 500 pounds or more? I guess I'm wondering if there's no upward bound HAES. But I feel like there should be. Because there are some weights that are just inherently unhealthy, right? I know there's other info out there, but I'd appreciate y'all's input on this.
Nope, it's for people of every size. I suggest you go work on your fat phobia. Anon.
Wow, is Anon lost, because they really don't seem to realize who they're dealing with here. If they were expecting HAES loons to show any kind of healthy moderation, they were sorely mistaken. They might as well have told them to put down the fork or something. Good luck. In all seriousness though, I'm genuinely confused about what response they were expecting here. HAES might be a load of anti-science rubbish. But it's not exactly unclear about its purpose. Health at every size. Not health at most sizes or health at every size except 500 pounds. It's a nutty position by its very nature. Not a reasonable one that has been taken too far. And I don't see the value in trying to negotiate responsible limits to HAES inclusion. When we could, and should, just throw the whole thing out. As a side note, in practice the every size only seems to apply to fat people. Because you rarely see fat activists pushing for acceptance of thin or underweight bodies. But that's neither here nor there. The point still stands that expecting HAES devotees to just draw a line in the sand at 500 pounds, or some other arbitrarily selected number, is never going to go down well, because such people fundamentally refuse to accept that fatness is unhealthy, even when that fatness is taken to downright alarming extremes. So in summary, Anon should probably stop trying to convince HAES cultists to tweak the delusional belief system just a little bit. Because at the end of the day, they aren't going to do it. And because even with these qualifiers, HAES would still be a load of baloney. I'm pretty sure being 450 pounds isn't healthy either. So what are we even fighting for? Leave the children to the games. And let's just acknowledge HAES for what it is. Okay, wonderful.
In pursuit of an authentic life, I've recently shared in my Instagram stories that I'm pursuing some weight loss. As a person who could be considered a face of the online body positivity landscape, I have felt much fear and guilt about being transparent about this. However, I would like to enter into this conversation compassionately, as I too felt anger, animosity, and alienation towards others who revealed similar intentions. My truth is simply this. I am tired of advocacy, tired of applying intellectual rhetoric to my body, and tired of living inauthentically to the signals my body, heart, and mind have been sending me for a few years now. Certain people in the body positive community feel so passionately about the advancement of rights for fat people that they believe the intentional pursuit of weight loss in any capacity is fatphobic. I understand this sentiment, and I understand the beautiful desire to protect the livelihood of people who have experienced the trauma of living in our culture in a fat body. I want you to know that if you feel anger towards me, a person who encouraged you to love your body, who is now publicly discussing thoughts of wanting to change her own, that I hear you. I hold space for you. I want to share that in this 300+ pound body, I have found creative stimulation, career success, friendships, the love of my life, beauty and joy. I don't think of fat bodies as undeserving, incapable, or without value. As I have evolved in my thoughts regarding my presence online, I noticed a gray area. As fat people, we are expected to either lose 150 pounds, or never lose a pound, and become role models for self-love. I am interested in neither one of those identities. I am seeking to feel more comfort in my daily life, less fear of inaccessible public spaces, and some ease. I will continue to showcase clothing ranges outside my own, and bring up size expansion to brand support on this platform. If this is no longer a place you feel comfortable to visit, I bid you a fond goodbye, and I thank you for your support of my work. I have nothing but love to offer my friends here, and that's why I offer you this vulnerable piece of me today.
God, that was painful to read. I swear, man, every time I see one of these groveling apologies, just for losing a little weight, another piece of my soul gets chipped off and crumbles into dust, even if I didn't know anything about fat acceptance other than this. The fact that the movement basically forces people to prostrate themselves like this, just for wanting to exercise some degree of control over their own body, would be enough to tell me that the whole ideology is rotten to the core. Because let's be real, people don't write essay-length posts preparing their audience to see them lose weight simply out of an overabundance of courtesy. They do it because they know that a wave of bitter rage from a bunch of crazy fat activists is about to wash over them, and they want to preempt it as best they can. And based on everything I've seen in my exploration of fat acceptance content, they are completely right to expect this backlash. I know that this poster has, to some extent, contributed to the ugly reality of fat acceptance through their participation in the movement. And I'll admit, there's a part of me that's tempted to say, you reap what you sow, and call it a day. But really, I think that misses an important part of what makes these kinds of cult-like communities so toxic. Sure, it was a mistake of this person to get into fat acceptance. And sure, they've probably engaged in the same kind of toxic BS that's about to bite them in the ass. But I'd like to think that even if people make mistakes, and get themselves wrapped up in things they should have steered clear of, they still have the opportunity to change and improve. But when the choice comes down to unending support and adoration, or vitriol and cancellation, it becomes a whole lot harder for people to make the right choice for their health and well-being. And the temptation to keep doing what you're doing, even when you know it's not good for you, must be pretty overwhelming. So in that sense, I applaud this poster for at least making the decision to prioritize their health and being transparent with their audience, in spite of the embarrassing pandering they had to engage in along the way. I can only hope that other fat activists show the same resolution when the time comes for them to face the reality of their situation, and that people eventually catch on to how toxic and cult-like the whole fat acceptance movement really is. Sighs. I'm not holding my breath though. Moving on.
If you knew for certain that regular workouts and a steady balanced diet would improve your physical and mental health, but would not change your body size, shape, or weight at all, would you still do it? If your answer is no, you're still not in a hole. We've all got the same conditioning to unpack. However, who is the whole? In that case, the ones who have had their eyes open to systemic oppression and refuse to challenge themselves by unpacking where they may be complicit. And the fat community, plus anyone in a marginalized body, doesn't owe those people patience or compassion.
Okay, so I included this one because I don't understand what it means, and I need help. I thought I was following along in the first half, with the part asking whether you would still work out for health, even if you would still look fat. Which, by the way, I would, but then when we got to the second part, I lost track of where everything was going. Like, what does the fat community have to do with that? It's just a hypothetical, right? A thought experiment, because being fat does, in fact, make people's physical and mental health worse. So why are we acting like it makes sense for fat people to refuse to lose weight based on the impure motives of thin people? I'm genuinely lost. Maybe it's just the way the point is written. I don't know, but either way, it pretty much broke my brain. And for what it's worth, I find the whole debate around people's motives for weight loss rather unhelpful and distracting. Like, what matters is not people's reasons for doing healthy or unhealthy things. It's the things themselves. If you're obese, it's a good idea for you to lose weight, regardless of whether you do it for superficial reasons or reasons of health. Framing the issue around pure and impure motives only serves to make fat people feel morally superior for neglecting their own health. And what can I say? I find that extremely toxic. Sarah, yeah, insofar as I was able to understand anything from this post, I thought it was dumb and backwards. What a surprise. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Sorry I haven't been uploading much lately. Just been super busy and super tired. At any rate, I hope you had a good time reading through these posts with me, and that you got something out of my commentary. What do you think? Should HAES be inclusive of 500-pound death fats? Should one be required to write a doctoral thesis in order to justify their own weight loss? Does wanting to look good invalidate the medical basis for weight loss? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll make you write a 100,000-word apology for that time you ordered a salad. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.